Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first video on CodeSign Secure, our code signing platform and encryption consulting. My name is Riley Dickens, and I'm the lead developer on CodeSign Secure. And today I'll just be walking you through the basics of our logging into CodeSign Secure as well as the dashboard. So this whole series will give you a good idea of what exactly you can expect to see when you log in for the first time, and just a few different details that you may need with CodeSign Secure. So first, I'll log into our web page. The URL will be different for everyone. And in our case, ours is nCipher CodeSign Secure just because that's the type of HSM we're using. And you have two different options to sign in here. So you can use an email and password that you would have set up when you first began using CodeSign Secure, or you can use Azure AD, which is our preferred method of getting in. So once I am into the portal here, we can see our dashboard. And this dashboard just gives you a really good view of some quick statistics, quick details you may need. So here we have our key performance indicators. You can see our signing KSPs utilized. So you can see that 15 signing KSPs or clients were bought by our company in this case, and 3 of them are in use. So there's another 12 that can be used for any different clients within our organization that may need it. Now here we have our ongoing requests, and this just shows how many signing requests are waiting for approval or, things like that. Basically, any approvals that we put in for my user that may be waiting for approval or denial from me. Now here we have our total number of approved requests as well as our successful signings. So these are specific to me specifically. So you may see zeros here. That's just because my user itself has not done any signings or had any requests sent to my user. Now we also have denied requests. So that gives you a good idea of how many different requests you've had to deny over time. And we have our expired requests. So our requests don't last forever. There's a set amount of time for them to sit and wait for approval or denial. And here we can see how many have expired. So in this case, one request has come through to me and I let that expire. Now, if you're ever wondering, what do these KPIs mean? What are they for? You can always click any of these different options, these no mores, and it'll jump you right to the page that you would need there. Now, just going down our page a little bit more, you can see two different graphs here. First, we have our certificates issued. So this shows your active, your inactive, and your expired certificates across the months. So we can see here that we don't have any inactive certificates right now this month. We also don't have any active ones since most of them expired. And we don't have any expired either. But we can see a peak here where 21 of our certificates expired back in August. Now on the right, we can see our signatures generated. So we can see across time the number of successes and the number of failures of signing. So we can see we had 9 failures in September, but 219 successful signatures generated in September as well. Now moving down a bit, we have our HSM Health Checkup. So since we're using an Enshield Connect, we get to see a number of different details here that would be very useful for you just in your day-to-day, or if you're doing any different details or information that you're trying to get from CodeSign Secure, just your HSM in general. So the most important ones, your firmware version, your HSM model, the status of the HSM, and then a few extra details here. Is the admin logged in right now? Is FIPS mode activated? Things like that that you may need. So our first page is on documentation. Here you get a very in-depth guide on everything we talk about today. So all of these different web pages will show up here. You can see all the information on them, things like that, anything that you don't want to, go back and rewatch this video on. We also have all our signing capabilities. So you'll be able to see things like all our different signing capabilities that are possible with CodeSign Secure, and you'll be able to see in-depth details on how to set them up. And then we also have our CI/CD integration. So down here at the bottom, you can set up all your CI/CD integrations that we support right now. And we have no issue working with you, even if the documentation for some reason is unclear to you. Like I said, it's very in depth, but sometimes you may need a little assistance. We're happy to help you out. Now, additionally, we have our APIs tab, and this just takes you to our Swagger page. So if any of your developers or your team members tend to use APIs more, something like Postman or something like that, then this is where they would go to actually, reach out to our APIs, see what you need to put in for it. For example, if we want to use this register one, you get all the details you need, the parameters, and the expected response from that as well. Now, finally, we have our user tab. So here I can see that I'm a system admin and I can actually see all the roles and permissions that I have. So I'm also a project manager in this case, and I can see all the different permissions I have. So if, once we get to the user permission section, I'll show off the different permissions that you can toggle on and off based on the roles. And we can see here that we have all the permissions right now. Now, additionally, we have license expiry. So whenever your license would expire and you renew it, we can jump to this page. We can see all the details about our license. We can see how many months are left before the license is expired. So we can see there's about 9 months left before it expires. And we can see when it was issued on and when it expires. So this is just a great way to kind of keep track of your license and also to update your license here. Now we also have our version, so you can see what front end and back end version you're on. I can see my personal information for my profile here, and I can go to help and support. So this will take us to our contact page, but if you're using CodeSign Secure, you likely already have our emails, so you can directly reach us as well. Now that's everything I have today for the dashboard. We look forward to seeing you in our next video about keys and certificates.